Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome to Marlena's Chapter Break. Today, we are going to talk about a recent book haul that I had. I recently acquired 10 new books and I am super excited to talk about them. 3 of them I was able to get through Amazon on my Kindle, and 7 of them I purchased at a bookstore that is about 45 minutes from where I live. So, with that, let's get started. So, first, I'm going to talk about the books that I got through Amazon that I was able to get on my Kindle, my ebooks. And the first one is called Drowning in Paper Flowers by E.L. Westbury. I actually saw that one of my Goodreads friends and a friend in real life read this and liked it. So, I figured I would put it on my TBR as well. So the book description, according to Goodreads, says The Lie. Ruby Powell is the epitome of perfect. She is beautiful, prominent, and wealthy. She lives in her dream home in the most affluent neighborhood in Dallas. She's a doting mother, a devoted wife, and a respected member of her community. She takes pride in being the president of both the PTA for her son's elementary school and the booster club for her daughter's high school soccer team. Her kids adore her, and her husband is still her best friend after 18 years of marriage. The truth: Ruby Powell is a full figured, middle aged housewife living in a house that she's grown to despise. She's a subpar mother. She detests her husband. She's addicted to anti anxiety pills due to a recurring nightmare. She volunteers at both of her children's schools, albeit for appearance's sake only. Because what would it look like if she were a stay at home mom who didn't volunteer? Her teenage daughter loathes her, and her 6-year-old son suffers from PTSD due to being the victim of a kidnapping when he was a toddler. What happens when Ruby is no longer able to separate the truth from the lie? A nightmare, an affair, a dead body, a lifelong secret, and the ending you never saw coming. This is right up my alley when it comes to mystery thrillers. It got on really good ratings on Goodreads too, which I know if you're in the book community, you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. But 4.24 rating, and a really good friend of mine who I trust as far as books goes really liked it. So I figured maybe I'll like it too. So I added it to my TBR. The next book that I was able to get through Amazon is through my Amazon Prime subscription. And so the First Reads subscription. And the one that I chose for March is called As Far as She Knew by Diana Awad. This also is a mystery thriller, it seems like. It has a really good rating as well, and it has an introduction by Mindy Kaling, so that's pretty neat. So this book is a masterful exploration of marriage secrets and identity that will leave you questioning how well you really know those closest to you. Diana Awad crafts a thriller that is both heart-stopping and heartbreaking. This I'm really looking forward to reading. I tend to, when I do the Amazon Prime reads or the first reads through Prime, more often than not, I tend to not really like the books, and it just sounds terrible, but it's true. Upon reading the description, I have some pretty high hopes for this book, so I really hope that it can live up to my expectations. I'm not sure when I'm going to read this one because, like I said, I just bought 10 new books. I have a to be read shelf that has more books on it than I would like. But yeah, I do look forward to reading this book. So, and then the last of my ebooks, I was able to get through Kindle Unlimited, and it is called The First Witches Club. Say no more when it comes to witchy vibe books. I absolutely love them, especially if they are cozy, found family, that sort of thing. I also do like darker witch inspired books too, but pretty much anything to do with witches, I just absolutely love. This book is by Maisie Yates. I think this is a play on the First Wives Club, which, if that's the case, I really do look forward to reading this. I really love the First Wives Club. It was a great movie. But this one is about 3 betrayed wives who stumble into a magical apothecary shop. They discover that revenge is sweet, but finding true love in their own power is even sweeter, in this witty romantic novel about second chances from New York Times bestselling author Maisie Yates. If I'm being honest, I'm probably going to save this to read until September or October because I really like reading the witchy vibe type books around Halloween time and autumn time. But I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Okay, and next we are going to talk about the physical books that I recently bought. So we are going to start with The Names by Florence Knapp. When I was at the checkout at the bookshop, the woman who was checking me out, her eyes just got super wide and she was so excited that I was buying this book. She told me that this book was amazing and she even got her husband, who is not a avid reader, to read it and he loved it as well. So I think this might say something. Um I was looking for something a little bit different than what I normally read. So I went into the bookstore not having any idea of what books I was going to walk out with. I didn't go in with a list or anything. I really wanted to spend my time in there and look around and find books that struck a chord with me. And this one was one of the first ones that I picked up. So, and it also has a read with Jenna sticker that you can't take off. And I usually really like the books that she recommends in her book club. So let's see. This is an extraordinary novel that asks, can a name change the course of a life? In the wake of a catastrophic storm, Cora sets off with her 9-year-old daughter Maya to register the birth of her son. Her husband, Gordon, respected in the community but a controlling presence at home, intends for her to follow a long-standing family tradition and name the baby after him. But when faced with a decision, Cora hesitates. Spanning 35 years, which I automatically love. What follows are 3 alternate and alternating versions of their lives, shaped by Cora's last minute choice of name. In richly layered prose, The Names explores the painful ripple effects of domestic abuse, the messy ties of family, and the possibilities for autonomy and healing. I'm really excited to read this book. It got really good reviews, and it looks like something, especially since it's spanning 35 years. I really tend to enjoy epic saga type books, and there's like a coming of age type situation. I hope this is it. But yes, I'm very excited to read this book. This might be coming up on my list sooner than later. And next, I'm really excited about this one. We have The Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the second book in the Hierarchy series, the sequel to Will of the Many, and one of my absolute favorite books that I read last year. This is a fantasy series. It's quite a big one. So originally, I was a little bit peeved, I'm not going to lie, when I saw the cover, because if you know, the Will of the Many cover is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love the aesthetic. It's very classic. It's got the Grecian kind of look to it. It's wonderful. So, naturally, because, this is a duology, you want them to match. It's just like one of those things, right? You want them to match. And this is almost as infuriating as when the books are of different heights when you put them on the bookshelf, but yeah, it has a different cover. That's okay. But what I discovered when I opened the book is that if you have the first book with the original blue cover, you can flip it inside out. And this matches more with the first book. Okay. So the first book is blue with gold. This one is green. It doesn't feel exactly the same. And it looks just, I almost dropped it, a tad bit different. But if you're looking just for the aesthetic on your bookshelf for the 2 books to match when they're side by side, you could use that as an option. And the book is purple, this is a really pretty purple. But yes, I am excited to read this one. I absolutely love the first one. This book did come out in November and I waited a little bit to purchase it. I knew that it was going to take a lot of energy to read the second one because the first one, while it is a really amazing read, it can be a little bit dense. And, I've had a lot of like crazy things going on in my life right now. So most of the books I've been reading, I haven't really had to have like a great deal of energy to consume. I'm kind of leaning towards the more fast paced, immersive kind of books, but this one I will be reading at some point. I just don't know quite when. All right. And next we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This was recommended to me by a friend. I read the premise and it looked like something that I would really enjoy. It looks like it might be a magical realism fantasy type book. So the description says we all have regrets, choices we could have made differently, paths we didn't take, other lives we might have led. But what if you were given a chance to fix your past? Enter the Midnight Library. Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then, at the stroke of midnight, on her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to the Midnight Library, where each book contains an alternate life, a possible world in which she made different choices. She is given what seems like the ultimate opportunity, a chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. This is right up my alley. This is definitely something that I would pick up in a heartbeat, and I did. It was recommended to me. I saw it, I picked it up, and yeah, I'll definitely read this soon. It's a pretty short book, it looks like, too, so it does not look like it's going to take me a long time to read. It's just under 300 pages. So I bet I will probably get through this in a flash. And next, we have Women of a Promiscuous Nature by Donna Everhart. I will admit the title is what stuck out for me with this. I love reading books about strong women and especially women in historical fiction. Women that have to overcome societal expectations. And, I love it when women just go against what's expected of them. That is one of my favorite, I guess you could say it's a trope. And so this one automatically stuck out to me. So in this one, it says this is a compelling and haunting novel from one of the most powerful voices in Southern historical fiction. It tells of the shocking, little known, decades long government scheme that saw thousands of young women across the United States and throughout the 20th century subjected to incarceration and medical treatment against their will, which is disgusting. It's gross. But I love reading about things like this, especially, women's empowerment. And we don't have enough of that. I think in this world, we can always have more. And I just love reading about it, especially in the lens of historical fiction. So I'm really excited to read this book. And I wasn't expecting it. I have actually never heard of this author before. I was not aware of this book at all. I literally saw the title and I picked it up immediately. I read the excerpt on the back and I was like, yeah, this is for me. And next, we have a book that's within the same vein, honestly, The Mad Wife by Megan Church. This is another, I think, women's empowerment, going against society type novel. This is, I guess, historical fiction. It takes place in the 1950s. We all know what the lives of women were like in the 1950s. Some people kind of wish it still were, unfortunately. But this is basically, it's a haunting exploration of identity, motherhood, and the suffocating grip of societal expectations that will leave you questioning the lives we build and the lives we lived. They called it hysteria. She called it survival. Yes. Really excited to read this book. It says it's within the vein of The Bell Jar, The Hours, and it weaves domestic drama with psychological suspense so poignant and immersive you won't want to put it down. And I hope that that is true. I'm excited to read this one. This was another one, never heard of the author. I had no idea this book existed. I saw the title and I was like, yep, let's go for it. Okay. Next, we have Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I did not read Jeanette McCurdy's first book. I'm glad my mom died. I've heard great things about it though. But this one I picked up. I was a little hesitant to pick it up. I'm not going to lie. It's not really something that I would normally read. I've been reading reviews on them. They're mixed. Some people think this book is amazing. Some people think it's kind of trashy. But I kind of wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I'm not gonna lie. It's a short book as well. I feel like I could probably get through it fairly quickly. Let's see. This is a sad, funny, thrilling novel about sex, consumerism, class, desire, loneliness, the internet, rage, intimacy, power, and the oftentimes misguided lengths we'll go to in order to get what we want. We're following Waldo, who is ravenous, horny, blunt, naive, wise, impulsive, lonely, angry, forceful, hurting, perceptive, and endlessly wanting. Who isn't? And the thing she wants most of all, Mr. Corgi, her creative writing teacher with the wife and the kid and the mortgage and the bills, with the dead dreams and the atrophied looks and the growing paunch. Interesting. I feel like this is giving like Lifetime movie kind of vibes. Hopefully not as cheesy as some of them tend to be, but we'll see. I'm excited to read this one. My cat wants to get out, so I have to go let him out, but on to the next book. And finally, we have the last book, which I did not buy at the bookstore, but I got through my book of the month subscription. And this is Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hockhauser. I hope I'm saying that right. Isn't this cover absolutely gorgeous? It's kind of plain, but it's also like got a classic aesthetic to it. I don't know. I just love, and I love black and gold together too. Very pretty. I was a little reluctant, I'm not gonna lie. Usually it's very rare that I skip a month with book of the month, but sometimes I do because none of them just really speak to me. This was the only one that was just kind of like, oh yeah, it could be interesting. So in this book, you are following the twice widowed lady, Etheldreda Verity Isolde Tremaine Bramley. That is a mouthful. She's solely responsible for her two children, a priggish stepdaughter, a razor-taloned peregrine falcon, and a crumbling manor. Fierce and determined, Ethel clings to the respectability her deceased husband's title affords her, hoping it will secure her daughter's futures through marriage. When a royal ball offers the chance to change everything, Ethel risks her pride in pursuit of an invitation for all three of her daughters, only to see her hopes fulfilled by the wrong one. As an engagement to the future king unfolds, Ethel discovers a sordid secret hidden in the depths of the royal family, forcing her to choose between the security she craves and the well-being of her stepdaughter, who has rebuffed at every turn. Okay. I probably wouldn't pick this up on my own if it wasn't a selection. The cover kind of sold me, if I'm being honest. I'll let you know if I like it. And with that, that is my most recent book haul. I'm really excited to read all of these books and just add them to my already growing TBR. Not gonna lie, sometimes it gives me anxiety to see the amount of books that I still have left to read. Some people have TBRs that are absolutely massive, and I don't know how they do it, because really, if I have more than 10 books waiting in the wings, I'm just like, panic. I have to get these read. I have to get it done. I'm really excited for the spring and summer to read some of these books and to talk about them. And I'm hoping to find some new 5-star favorites. We'll see. If you've already read any of these books that I have mentioned today and you really love them, or you didn't like them, or you were indifferent about them, let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss it with you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. And until next time, I'll see you later.